Washington XL 92.5 FM.
And we welcome in, glad you're along for the ride on a Wednesday installment of the program. Frangie, Carline, La Selva with you on these Wednesdays. You know our Wednesdays are always brought to you by our friends at the Coyle & Sons Fence Company. Man, they do a terrific job. We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. You can find out about them at coiljacks.com. You can call them at 904-356-4821. If you need fencing, residential, commercial, you name it. If you need it, nobody does it better than my friends at Coyle & Sons. Hump day in a week where I love what Trevor Lawrence said. I just said that to Tom and Lauren and Taylor. I think calm down, go win a game, and feel good. That's my take today. Calm down, go win a game against a team that is beatable. I mean, a team that's 0-2, and I think flawed. So that's right. That's my take today. That's how I'm starting the Wednesday program. Calm down and go win a game.
And the thing, too, obviously BTJ was the big story today in terms of, coming off a really rough outing at Cincinnati. But honestly, I don't feel like Brian Thomas Jr. is really, I mean, again, he can't play as timid as he did the other day. But I also don't think he's that big of a key to victory on Sunday, which is odd because I just don't think you should expect him to have 10 catches for 120 yards, even if he wasn't in a slump against Derek Stingley. I mean, it's just probably not going to happen. You're probably going to have to find additional paths to scoring anyway, which really, I mean, again, the way they look right now should not be that big I mean, it's a challenge, but shouldn't be a detriment to what they want to get done. I mean, you're leading the NFL in rushing. Obviously, you've got a tight end that you've established. You've got Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown, Travis Hunter. So, I mean, if the Texans, Stingley stayed with Mike Evans the entire game on Monday night, I think if you're the Jags, you sort of welcome that. I think it would actually be kind of easier to prepare for them if you knew that, or if they show that early on that is their plan. I think it kind of makes it easier. I think to get the ball moving. So you may not see big numbers from Brian Thomas Jr., but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's still in a slump. It's just why would you test Stingley when you've got favorable matchups pretty much everywhere else on the field, assuming you can protect Trevor. Now that's a big, obviously with Anderson and with Hunter on Houston's side, that's going to be a big challenge. But yeah, I mean, the Texans are 20th in yards defensively allowed. They're great getting after the quarterback, but they can be run on. And I mean, that's the path for the Jaguars is Etienne, Tootin, LaQuinn Allen, continuing to shine in running the ball, catching the ball, and certainly pass protection.
Here's the problem the Jags face, in my opinion. Here's the problem. In 2017, the Jaguars swept the Texans en route to their very good season. They've beaten them twice since. That's the problem. The problem is there is a psychology to it. I remember C.J. Stroud's first year. I was very confident the Jags would win, and he came in here, and somehow they won. The psychology is real. This is a team that's won 10 of its last 11 trips here. They've beaten them 12 of the last 14 times they've played. The Jaguars have won since 2017. Since the year Miles Jack wasn't down, the Jaguars have beaten this team twice. That's the problem. And you're right, Hayes. There's a lot of matchups on the field we'll talk about, but the psychology matters. They're going to come in here full of confidence, even though they lost 2 games, because they believe this is a team they normally beat. And the Jaguars have to change that narrative. That's the issue, and go out there. And I think the Jags, I've watched both Texans games. I've called both Jaguars games. As we sit here today, I think Jacksonville's got a better team. Fair or not? Is that a fair –
I don't know how it could be argued. If you're only basing it on the 2 games.
That's right.
The Jaguars lead the NFL in rushing and takeaways.
Right.
Those are 2 of the biggest keys to consistent winning in this league at any level of football.
They got the better team.
They're way more balanced.
Yeah.
Houston has a great pass rush, an outstanding corner. They're good defensively, and they're exceptional in certain areas defensively. But offensively, they're averaging 14 points a game. They're dead last in the NFL in scoring offense, and they're dead last in the NFL in third downs. Yeah, so and again, they're still really figuring things out.
And again, sometimes stats can be skewed by based on who you've played. The road game at the Rams and the home game against the Texans is probably a tougher challenge than a home game against the Panthers and a road game in Cincinnati, mostly without Burrow. I understand that. It is a tougher challenge. But to my point, you can only assess the games you see.
And it's not like we're not talking about one's 13th and one's 16th in terms of you're talking about in some of these, it's number one in the NFL, and then in Houston's, flawed issues, they're last in the league. And some pretty, I would consider scoring offense a pretty significant category. They are last, averaging 14 points a game. I think it's interesting in terms of how Liam approaches this as an offensive play caller, because there's probably some games, we'll talk to him about this on Friday. There's some games where you probably feel like you got to score 38. There's other games where maybe you feel like if you get 20 on the board, you're in pretty good shape. So from a fourth down, go for it or take the points with Cam Little, I wonder if this week you're a little more conservative because that magic number, that target you're looking for on the scoreboard, I would imagine is lower than if you were playing a team that was way more explosive offensively.
Good point. That's a great question. You probably have a target line you need to get to, right? In most games. Yeah, that's a good point. So, but we'll see. They got to calm down and play. I want to say this again about Trevor Lawrence showed leadership today. I loved his answer when asked about Brian Thomas Jr. His answer was, guys, it's week 2. Relax. It's week 2. Brian Thomas will be okay. Now, that's not to say it's not a story, because he did shy away from contact. We all saw it. You were watching the game. But I like the fact, Hayes, that he said, relax, everybody. The reality is Brian Thomas was a good enough player in high school to earn a scholarship to LSU. He was a good enough player at LSU to earn a first-round draft pick in the NFL. He was a good enough player in his first year in the NFL to be one of the best rookies of the year. You could have made the argument he could have, in some areas, could have been the rookie of the year. Third most receiving yards, as you were saying yesterday, in the league. He's earned all that. It was one game where he didn't play very well. In one game, the optics of how he didn't play well are the story, and I get it. But I love the fact, whether Trevor's right or not isn't the issue. The leader said, I'm going to go to bat for my guy. I'm the leader. I've got the captain on my chest, the C on my chest. Let's give him a little space here. It was one game. He's going to be fine. I love the fact that I think that was a powerful comment, and I think it will calm stuff down a little. That's my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. Now, you got another game. If the similar optics show up again, now it's a pattern. You know what I mean? So now it's a pattern. But I think so. We'll show them. All right. Other patterns, or one pattern. Boy, I love their running back room without Bigsby, with Bigsby, and you caught up with a guy today that I went back and watched, might just be really special, right? Might be. You talked to Bayshaw Tootin today. Listen, ETN has been fantastic. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's second in the NFL in rushing.
And he's earned that by having a great offseason and a great camp and being on a good rushing team. But this guy, Tootin, there might be something really there. Like
without a doubt.
Might really there. So you're going to hear from Hayes. Does a great job on these one-on-ones. He tracked down Bayshaw Tootin today. You'll hear from that coming up in just a bit. We'll talk about the significance of the Jags and Texans game. We'll talk about the key matchup. Let's start talking some NFL. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show
From the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession. That would be Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers. It's delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The Florida Gators suffered an ugly loss to the USF Bulls last Saturday, losing 18-16 due to a walk-off field goal. As the Gators try and put a diminishing loss behind them, the road's not getting any easier as they head to Baton Rouge this Saturday to take on the third-ranked LSU Tigers in Death Valley at 7:30. Catch that game airing right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Celebrate every score for Duval's favorite home team this season at One Night Taco Stand. Enjoy $3.99 margaritas, and when the home team scores, free tequila shots. Dine in only during the game. Don't miss Taco Tuesday, daily lunch specials, and Top Shelf Friday, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows. One Night Taco Stand, where tacos, tequila, and touchdowns come together.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 17, 2004, Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hits career home run number 700 off San Diego Padres pitcher Jake Peavy.
Jacksonville, archery season is here, and nobody does archery like Green Acres Sporting Goods, home of the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida. Come test shoot the newest bows from Matthews, Hoyt, Raven, and all the top brands. And starting this month, take advantage of Florida's sales tax holiday on all Second Amendment related items, running now through the end of the year. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We do thank our friends from Coyle & Sons, the best fence company in all of Jacksonville. I'm telling you now, residential fencing, and there's so much of it. If you're getting a fence, do it from the pros, people that know how to work with your HSA, that have done it 1,000 times, that are going to do it the right way, no questions asked, or commercial fencing, overhead doors for your business, those bathroom partitions. They do it all, and they do a really good job. 904-356-4821, or call them at Coyle Jacks. That's CoyleJax.com. All right, so here's one thing I have figured out. I was on with Mark Vandermeer today. He's the play-by-play voice of the Texans, and he asked me, he said, boy, Travis Etienne's off to a great season. What do you make of that? Has he found himself? I said, well, Mark, I'll tell you what I said on my radio show and what the general belief is. Travis is a guy that everybody doubted. Bigsby was a better downhill runner, so he was going to start ahead of him. Bashaw Tootin was better because he was a rookie they loved, and LaQuinn Allen is going to be their third down back, and everyone did all they could to run Travis Etienne out of town, and all he did is have the best offseason of his career, the best camp of his career, and he's off to a great start. And that's all true. And he said, well, that's clear, the numbers show. I said, but what else is true is this team wants to run the football. They have said that since the day they got the job. They addressed it in the offseason with their offensive line. They addressed it by being very aggressive in the draft with running backs. They addressed it by being that establishing the identity. And I think among the recipients of that and the beneficiaries of that is Travis Etienne, Bashaw Tootin, and now LaQuinn Allen. So I think all of it's in play, Hayes. I think the fact that you want to run the ball and you are committed to running the ball is gigantic for this team. But you know what helps that? Having good guys in the room. You can run, no matter how much Dallas wanted to run the ball in the 90s, The attitude mattered. You know what else mattered? Having 22 on the team, right? You know what happened? Well, you know why the Bears ran it pretty well? Because they had Walter Payton on the team. I'm not making these guys among the greatest of all time, but you have to have good guys in the room. Travis Etienne is a really good running back. The most complete running back in time might be Bashaw Tootin. You got a chance to talk to him. What do you think of him talking to him?
I think he's phenomenal. I mean, I think for him to have the speed, the moves, the power that he plays with, he's not. I'm surprised at how physical he is as a runner, because to stand next to him, he's not, he's not an overly big guy, but I mean, he keeps those legs moving, and we've seen it on multiple occasions now. He's got a good feel for the screen game. That so much of that is timing, and it just feels like this is the first staff that's really been able to teach the timing accurately to the players. The screen game, and this isn't just a Doug Peterson thing. This goes back, I think, a full decade, where the Jaguars screen game has just always looked awkward. And now it's crisp, and for it to be this crisp this early is a really good sign for how effective it will ultimately get to, because I still think it's going to have upside just because everybody's still kind of figuring each other out. But I mean, what Tootin did, I mean, the move that he put on the defender made him look silly. And 40 yards on the ground and 30 yards through the air, for a supplemental back, a rookie back, to have over 70 yards of total offense and score as a complementary piece to a running back in ETN that's having off to the best start in his career. It all goes back to Liam Cohen. Like the X factor here is it appears that the Jaguars have hired an offensive superstar. I mean, you look at the numbers that the Jaguars are producing through 2 games compared to last season, and it's night and day. They had 5 third down conversions combined in their first 2 games last year. They have 11 this year. I mean, you look at yardage, 778 in these first 2 games. They had 590 last year. But even forgetting that, because last year's offense certainly wasn't anything that you'd want to put, a bar on and say, eclipse this. They're leading the NFL in rushing. The Jaguars, like what he did in Tampa Bay last year, it's happening here in Jacksonville. It's everything that Shad Khan and Tony Baselli could have dreamed of when Liam Cohen became their target. And again, now, if they get a lot of injuries, this will change. But I think schematically, Liam Cohen is 2 steps ahead of the NFL right now when it comes to the ground game. I think Etienne's a good back. I don't think he's an elite back, but his numbers are elite right now because of his head coach is making him look good, and they've unlocked the offensive line. They're playing better. Brenton Strange has been unbelievable for the most part as a blocker. It's all, so everybody deserves some credit for it, but to me, it goes back to they have a offensive superstar in Liam Cohen.
And one of the business beneficiaries is Bashaw Tootin, the rookie running back, the subject of this Hayes Carline one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined by Jaguars running back Bashaw Tootin here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you, too. I'm doing pretty well.
That was a great game Sunday. What'd you take out of it?
It was a learning experience for me. I played pretty well, but some things, we need to grow on. First, career start for me. So I was kind of excited for it. I think I went out there and played pretty well. Overall, very pleased.
What stood out to you on the touchdown?
I think the biggest thing was the one-on-one with a lineman. That's the battle I like myself in every time. So, as soon as I caught the ball and I turned around and saw that, I kind of knew it was a touchdown.
Bashaw, have you been pleased with how your speed and power has translated to the NFL level?
Yeah, I think that's my biggest strength. Both of them, speed and power. I'm not an overly heavy back. I'm 208. But just having that speed to power ratio, I think helps my game a lot. I can run between the tackles and then, beat you outside on, jet sweeps and things.
How fun is it to operate the screen game as a running back in Liam Cohen's system?
It was very fun. We normally call it at a good time when the defense is normally blitzing, so it's working out for us. But it's just a play to, catch the defense slipping and to take a short dump down for, a good chunk of yardage.
And you guys are leading the NFL in rushing through 2 weeks. That's obviously got to be incredibly pleasing for you guys. What's been the key in terms of the run blocking and what the offensive line and tight ends are giving you guys?
Practice. I think we come out here every day and practice, and the O-line, they bust their butt. Tight ends, the whole offensive core. Then along with the running backs, we all bust our tail to, give a great look and get a great rep in and finish to the end zone. So I think just it all starts in practice, the way you practice, the way you play, and I think that shows with us leading.
Does Brenton show up in the film room when you guys watch the key blocks that he's able to throw?
Yeah, he's always showing up along with a lot of other players. He's a hard worker. He, everything he does to a high level, and we appreciate that. We see that and we highlight that. We're just trying to bring, a lot more guys, on board to the same train.
Travis Etienne, obviously second in the NFL in rushing going into week 3. What have you learned from him about just being a pro and getting used to being a running back in this scheme and just in the NFL?
Just the biggest thing I learned is put more time in outside of, in the building, treatment, studying, things like that. He kind of helped me out with that kind of stuff. So just taking his, his lead on that, I think it's definitely helping for him and me as well. And it's definitely showing.
How cool is it going through this with LeQuint, somebody in your draft class that, he's carved out a nice role for himself as well in the offense, and what kind of friendship have you guys developed?
It's going pretty good. Just to see him, stepping up and playing his role and doing that at a high level, like you said, we're both same draft class, both from the same state, maybe 30 minutes apart. So just seeing him succeed at the level we are is very pleasing.
Did you guys know each other as kids being that close, or did it take until becoming Jaguars to kind of know him?
We kind of knew each other. We knew of each other, I would say that. 30 minutes apart, different groups in high school, so we knew the names, but it took going to combine and all that kind of stuff to, get to know each other. What's
stand out about Houston and their run defense? What jumps out on film as you start preparing for the Texans?
They play physical and fast. I think that's something that we need to, take into account, and, we got to just beat them with the way we prepare, the way we play, the toughness we play with, and the speed we play with. They show great speed on film, and, they run all 11 to the ball. So that's just something we have to match and exceed on their effort, and we'll be fine.
Your first divisional game, have the veterans kind of said, okay, these games carry some additional importance? Has that been a topic of discussion in the locker room with you guys early on this week?
Yeah, you kind of feel in the building. Like you said, a conference game against a rival, I guess you could say that it's always bad blood with, but it's always a good game. So you feel it. I felt it coming in Monday, how the energy shifted to, locking in, and everyone's on their P's and Q's this week, just how big of a game this is for us. So I felt it in the air. Some vets, talked about it a little bit, but you can feel it around here.
Awesome. Bayshore Tune, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and congratulations on your success. Best of luck Sunday.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's gonna give Houston some issues with what he can do again, because usually when the number one running back comes out, the defense sort of feels like, all right, well, we don't really have to worry about the second guy as much. I think Tootin is every bit as dangerous as Etienne, and again, for him to have 42 yards on the ground, 32 yards through the air last week to find the end zone,
and the move
on
the touchdown,
yeah, and absolutely on just 18 offensive snaps. This is somebody that. I think it's a challenge for D'Amico Ryans in Houston, because Etienne sort of has to be the focal point, but you absolutely have to be well versed on what Tootin and LaQuinn Allen as well, but certainly Bayshore Tootin. I wouldn't be surprised at all this year if he ends up having a game in which he's got 120 yards on the ground and 70 through the air. I mean, it just feels like he's got that playmaking ability, and it's Etienne's deservingly the lead guy, but if something were to happen, and unfortunately, Travis had to miss a game, I think Bayshore Tootin would just explode in terms of his productivity. So James Gladstone's done an outstanding job. They have I think a really loaded running back room, and Tootin and Allen are on the first year of a 4-year contract.
Yeah, and I think Tootin could be. First of all, again, credit to Travis Etienne. He's one of the best running backs in the league. Hopefully has a big year, and the Jags keep him. They keep a loaded running back room. But the future does seem to be Bayshore Tootin. Let's go back to the game for a second. The Texans and the Jags. The Texans certainly have controlled the Jags Again, the Jags have won twice since 2017, which is kind of hard to believe if you think about that. I don't know what to make of the Texans. I don't think they're a bad team, but I don't think they're an elite team. And I think the Jaguars, from what we've seen, as we said a minute ago, have the better of the two teams. Start with C.J. Stroud. He was really good as a rookie. He was not as good last year. What's your impression been 2 games in?
Well, they can't protect him. They're 29th in the league in sack percentage allowed. So obviously they're one of the worst clubs again at protecting C.J. Stroud. I think some of that is on C.J. Stroud. I think sometimes he gets fooled, but other times the guys that he's counting on let him down, and that's not just their offensive line. The Houston had a running back get basically pancaked on a blitz that it resulted in a C.J. Stroud sack Monday night against Tampa Bay. So it's a combination of factors, but they can't protect him, so I don't think he's been able to find any kind of comfort zone. He's not a big guy. He really only has one receiver that you have to worry about. Now, Nico Collins is very good, but with Tank Dell being out, they invested some premium draft picks and a couple second rounders. Those guys are still trying to find their way. They haven't had Christian Kirk. Maybe they have him Sunday, but C.J. Stroud's never played a game with Christian Kirk. So, it makes you wonder how effective that will be. So, and I think they've had some coordinator issues. They had Slowick last year, who the league caught up to, and now you've got a new coordinator this year, so everybody's trying to learn a new scheme. And not having Joe Mixon, I was surprised that wasn't a bigger storyline Monday night during the broadcast, because I don't think his name was ever mentioned. Joe Mixon is an outstanding running back, and Houston not having him and being surprised that they don't have him, it'd be one thing if they'd known in March he wasn't going to be there. But I think they expected really up until about 2 weeks into training camp, he may not be ready. So you've got Nick Chubb, who has had a great career, but is certainly on the well into the back nine of that career. They have a rookie, Woody Marks, that is got some tooting to him. He's pretty good in the passing game. He had a 37-yard catch and run the other night against Tampa Bay. But I just don't think C.J. Stroud's supporting cast is overly strong outside of Nico Collins. And so it's just led to a mess, really. I mean, again, Houston is last in the NFL in scoring. So it'd be really disappointing if they come here Sunday and put up, 24 or more when, so far they're averaging 14 points through 2 games, and they're on a short week, and they're on the road. And so, yeah, I think it adds up pretty well for a Jaguar defense that leads the league in takeaways to continue to produce big plays.
Yeah, I think, and again, Houston tends to play well against Jacksonville. That's A. B, I think they've played 2 pretty good teams. I have a better idea. I feel like I'll have a better idea of how good somebody is something 3, 4, 5 games in than 2 games in. So I don't know that they're going to be that bad offensively as the season goes along. But your point about Nico Collins is correct. They don't have any good receivers other than Nico Collins. Or maybe if Christian Kirk comes back, he helps, but they don't. That's a reality. Nick Chubb, not just age, the injuries, he's not what he once was, and that's a reality. So there's not great weapons around him. So and I think part of the reason that he's been sacked a bunch, to your point, is A, they're not protecting him. B, I'm not sure anyone's open. If you double Nico Collins, who's open? And I think
their tight ends are just guys. Dalton Schultz has had a pretty decent career.
Yeah, he's a decent player.
But he's not somebody that keeps you up at night.
Right.
He's not a top 15 tight end in this league anymore.
So the psychology of this game, I'll say it again, is the big thing. A team that is uber confident against one team and another team that's had a difficult time beating the other team. That is, and I said this before yesterday, this is a chance you want to win. The Jaguars are in a really good place with regard to who they are. I think we all believe they're pulling in the same direction. I think we all believe that they've got this front office right with Tony and James Gladstone. I say front office and head coach right with Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen. We all believe. I don't know anybody that doesn't believe they've gotten that right. I mean, you talk about the narrative, the talk on the street. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't believe that. I think people believe they're going to run the ball and they're going to play with a toughness. And I think everyone thinks what you said earlier, or many think what you said earlier, that the play calling is going to be good and the leadership's going to be good. But until you prove you can beat the Texans when you haven't beaten them very much, people aren't going to be sure. I think I think that's what happened last week is when they lost at the end of the game to a backup quarterback, regardless of how it came about. And the pass interference was an awful call, and the 2 drops were very uncharacteristic. But the reality is they lost again to a backup quarterback when they knocked the good quarterback out of the game in the first half. You understand why Fan Guy thinks same old Jaguars. And this is a chance to change that narrative. That's the significance of the game. No, we're not the same old Jaguars. The Texans aren't going to just come in here and beat us. We're not going to lose to backup quarterbacks. No, that's why it's a huge game for Jacksonville on so many fronts. We'll take a break. More in a moment. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 5-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. But only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This is Jaguar Hall of Famer Tony Baselli telling you about Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and home remodeling company. With over 25 years of trusted experience, Heritage of North Florida has built a reputation for quality, reliability, and craftsmanship. Whether you need a new roof or updating your kitchen or bathroom, trust the pros at Heritage of North Florida to create the perfect place to call home. Mention Jaguars to get $1,500 off your next roof or kitchen remodel when you go to heritagenfl.com. Go Jags.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose DuckDuckRooter. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, we do it all. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. DuckDuckRooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers, they'll do it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle and Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
Headlines are coming up in a minute. I'm going to stay on this topic later, but here's my question for you, Hayes Carline from the Bowl School. Drove in the Buick, beat up Buick. Did the Buick have any dents?
It didn't really. Well, it didn't have like dents.
You
It
just weren't
the
afraid.
bumper filler had eroded out of it.
I love that.
So like
I
you
make me respect you even more now.
You had like bumpers, but like then it was almost like a disconnection from the car, where it was only where like the bumper attached to the frame that you could see it.
What I wouldn't give for a picture.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. And then the headliner had been torn down over time. So like there was this like you could almost like put a footprint on it. So you could like draw in it. So that by the time I sold it a year later, it was basically all doodled on by my friends and stuff. So
the best story you ever told me is I didn't hit the Mercedes and Beamers in the parking lot, but I parked really close to them.
Oh, yeah.
Just to dare them.
Oh, I had no qualms. I parked every day at 15 miles an hour coming into the spot. I mean, there was no pressure at all.
Parked right next to them. Dared them to open
with
the door.
With a door that opens to New Mexico.
Dared them
You
to
remember
open the
those
door.
old Buicks?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
that door goes a while. That door has Trayvon Walker length. And so it was a great car though. Bought it for $900, sold it for $900 a year later.
More Jaguars.
And it never broke down on me one time.
And by the way, I promise you, I had beaters.
Yeah.
I was the home of the beaters. Okay.
Yeah.
JJ, did you have any beaters growing up?
Oh yeah, my first car was a 1995 GMC Sierra stick shift.
And
it wasn't nice.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
How many? By the way, how old are you?
Baby blue.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
You're 35 and you know how to drive a stick shift.
Well, I learned how to drive a stick shift.
I would suggest.
So now I know how to drive everything.
I would suggest the amount of people under 45.
90%. Don't know.
10%. I would say 10% tops. No, I think that's right.
And I might go under.
Yeah, and maybe under. Yeah, I mean,
it's probably. I mean, it's probably hard to find if you're not buying a
like a sports car.
Or more. Yeah, it's probably hard to find a car that.
My dad just took me to like the hilliest neighborhood, which had like 2 hills, and basically just made me sit in the driver's side and was like, figure it out. Yeah. Gave me like really no tutorial whatsoever. I burned out a clutch in my first year.
I was going to say, it's such an intimidating sound when you don't do it right, and the car basically screams in agony.
Or when you have your friends or a girl at a red light in the car with you. It is so embarrassing.
I owned 3 cars that were stick shift. Did you ever own one?
I never owned one. I was taught how to do it. My dad had a stick shift, and so I learned how to do it enough to get by. But I never owned one, and there was a few times in college where I had to be not necessarily a designated driver because I was far from sober.
The least drunk
but
driver.
and my friends had, and it was like, okay, who can maybe get us home?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I can do it. And so, it's 3 a.m.
That
in the morning going
fantastic.
down,
I would love to watch
Northwest 20th
that.
Drive.
Cigarette in one hand.
Yeah, as the car is sputtering along. But if I had to do it today, if I had to drive home today, I think I could probably do it, but it would be clunky.
Yeah, I
like the definition of clunky.
I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3. I had 3 cars. I had 3 cars that were stick shift. I loved it. I mean, back when I was. I mean.
You have so much control.
It was
car.
It was fun.
Awesome.
It was fun to drive when you didn't just drive along. All right, very good. I want to take a break. I want to do headlines, but I do have a question that I'm going to get to, not just with the college guys, but with you. How much of a referendum game is Saturday night for DJ Lagway?
It's his career. It should be his career.
It's the referendum game, isn't it? So hold the thought. We're going to do headlines. I'll get to the top of the hour. And when I say referendum, it doesn't mean he's got to be 30 for 32 for 5 touchdowns, but it can't be what it's been, So
if it's what it's been, he's got to be sat down quickly.
Has to be. We'll talk more about it. Let's do headlines after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Touchdown Gators!
Can the Gators tame the Hurricanes and turn the tables in Coral Gables?
Got a hole and there he goes.
Kickoff at 7:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. This Saturday is our monthly card show inside Showtime from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Beat the heat this Saturday while looking at sports cards or even Pokemon cards. With nearly 20 tables of vendors this Saturday at Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
Welcome to the bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Margie Williams in Jacksonville at 904-296-2500.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Old City named 904 Gutters with a Z, the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women.
With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here, as is JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. They will take great care of you. Frank, we're going to start it with the Jaguars back on the field today as they get ready for Sunday's game at home against Houston. Obviously, the topic of conversation today, Brian Thomas Jr. coming off a disappointing performance against Cincinnati. Head coach Liam Cohen met with reporters before practice and talked about his conversations with BTJ.
Just like anybody on this team, nobody was pleased with the outcome, right? And we had some good conversations, really good conversations. And everybody was frustrated. But at the end of the day, he's got a great opportunity to bounce back, as does the rest of our team, and feel really confident about that. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you've got a very talented player that we want to continue to try to get the most out of and put him in a position to continue to be successful and stay and continue to have his back.
And I love the answer. And I think now as you move forward, okay, that story's over now. Now, if it happens again and everybody's going to be watching for it, then you address it again. But Brian's talked about it. Trevor's talked about it. Liam Cohen's talked about it. There's nothing you can do to change it. He's seen the tape 1,000 times. You move on. It sounds like they all have. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, you mentioned his support for BTJ earlier in the show. This is Trevor Lawrence when asked about Brian Thomas Jr.
It's football. I mean, it doesn't always go perfect. You know, obviously we would love to start off hot these first 2 games and our connection be, ripping and me finding him everywhere and him having a great year and all those things. But I mean, we're in week 2, everybody. So I think we can all just take a deep breath. Give BT a little space. He's going to be just fine. Not worried about him at all. Just something we got to continue to work at. And we're going to have a good plan for him each week to be involved. And he's too good of a player to not be involved and make those plays down the field that we all know he can make. And got all the confidence in the world in him and excited for just another opportunity for him this week to get going. Great answer. Great leadership. I really believe that. Okay, it's week 2. Everybody relax. Let's go play football. I love his answer. I love that's how leaders talk. And I love everything about the way he handled that. Let's get to around the NFL. Buffalo superstar quarterback Josh Allen will wear a visor as he is dealing with a nose injury. The Bills play tomorrow night against the Dolphins. He's a good player, man. I mean, he is really, he might be the best player in the league. He's certainly among the best 3 or 4 players in the league. And so I'm not sure the visor affects him any. Interesting game because the Dolphins look like they're about done. He could get fired Friday morning. You certainly get that impression. With everybody watching, it's going to happen early on. So Buffalo, Miami, once one of the best rivalries in the at least in the AFC, seems to have lost a little juice, so it'll be fun to watch. Could be a bloodletting. It really could. I think the spread is like 13 points in an NFL game. Yeah, that's the equivalent of 40 in a college game. Yeah, and I would take the Bills for sure. Let's get into some notable injuries around the league. The Vikings are placing running back Aaron Jones on IR with a hamstring injury, so big opportunity for Jordan Mason and this Minnesota offense now dealing with no quarterback and J.J. McCarthy. And while it's kind of been a split, certainly a very talented running back in Aaron Jones. Yeah, and again, Carson Wentz surfaces again. We'll see what happens with him. But look, the good thing is just the same thing as Trevor said about Brian Thomas Jr. It's week 2. But McCarthy's going to be out a while. So Minnesota, which has a good team, could be reeling a bit, no question. The Jets will start Tyrod Taylor against the Bucs at quarterback with Justin Fields out with a concussion. Tyrod Taylor's still around, isn't he? Boy, it feels like it was 30 years ago that they punctured his lung with the shot. Remember that? And that was halfway through his career. Yeah, exactly. And then he was a quarterback for the Bills here in that first playoff game in 17. So you know what? God bless him. Still getting a paycheck, and now he's going to start a game. It's going to be a nice pension for Tyrod Taylor when he wraps it up. The Chargers get good news on Khalil Mack. The outstanding pass rusher will go on IR with a dislocated elbow, but is expected to return this season. Certainly looked like it could have been season-ending when we saw it happen on Monday night. Yeah, there's a lot of those injuries that are. Those pec injuries, you tear a pec, you're gone. You tear a biceps tendon, you're gone. And it looked like it might have been one of those, and that's one of the real good pass. Even later in his career, one of the real good pass rushers in the league. Let's get to college football from the "What fresh hell awaits us today" category. Florida has endured another embarrassment as running backs coach Jabbar Jalouk has been suspended for 3 games for a pregame incident at LSU on Saturday. I don't know what happened, but when he came out, Greg Sankey was really outspoken about it. He was pissed. He grabbed a guy by the throat. Is that what it was?
was? I didn't know what he did. I didn't know. I didn't know what he did. He grabbed the LSU player. I thought he might have punched him.
He's lucky he didn't get fired.
Yeah, I thought he might have punched the kid. So that's what he did. I didn't know what he did, but I was just going to tell you. For him to say I apologize to the player too, that's what it was. He grabbed him by the throat.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Is it all over?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this one that Pyburn's involved in.
Okay.
But
he should have just spit on him. He wouldn't have gotten in trouble at all.
So now, and this has been circulating, but it's right, so we're going to reemphasize it. Florida, if you're keeping score this season, 2 public apologies, one from a player who spit, one from a running backs coach that can't stay out of melees before a game. And they have 1 victory. So 1 victory and 2 public apologies from the University of Florida football team. Good job, Billy Napier. Well done. What a ball club.
More apologies than victories.
More apologies than victories. And
I got nothing.
And that record could stay intact for quite a while.
Yeah. Even if they get the apologies under control,
right?
The ratio could remain.
Yes, without a doubt. We will stay in the world of college football. Boy, Clemson coach Dabo Swinney unloaded yesterday on what he feels like are the spoiled Tigers fans. This was Dabo at his hottest.
If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on the way, because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking, is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, to win it twice. Yeah, we a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. And hey, listen, I mean, if Clemson's tired of winning, they send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go.
That's awesome.
Please, everybody, welcome your new University of Florida football coach, Dabo Swinney.
I'd take him tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'd take him tomorrow. By the way, that is fantastic.
It would be ironic if Napier's replacement was a guy that fired Napier at some point along the way.
Where am I going to go? I'm 55. I ain't going to the beach. That was a fantastic answer. That was one of the great answers of all. I ain't going to the beach.
I tell you what, this feels like it might be his last year there. That is a coach looking for the next opportunity.
And I will
he
say,
is fed up.
Yeah, and I wonder, and it might just be in the moment, because I think he likes being at Clemson. But I'll say this. He also said, maybe not in that cut, that his worst year is 9-4. He said our bad year is 9 wins.
Yeah.
He said that's our bad year.
It was an hour-long presser.
Yeah. So, but
meanwhile, the Florida coach is under 500.
I will say this: I don't sense Dabo Lee. I think everybody calms down a little bit. But I will tell you, as a Florida graduate, I'd take him tomorrow.
Without a doubt.
I'd take Dabo tomorrow.
If you wouldn't take Dabo Swinney, then you have very unrealistic expectations for what the Florida football program is. Let's get it to Major League Baseball. Pirates ace Paul Skeens' ERA jumps to 2.02 after allowing 3 earned runs and 3 2/3 innings pitched in a 4-1 loss to the Cubs yesterday. He still leads MLB in ERA, but we've been hoping it would stay sub 2. He's going to have a one more fantastic outing to get under that.
First time I've watched him, JJ, I don't know if you were watched or not.
I did.
First time I've watched him when he didn't have command. Did you notice that?
He was all over the place.
I've watched every start he's ever had.
I thought they were going to take him out earlier than they did.
I did too. I've watched every start. So Michael Bush, the leadoff guy, hits the long home run to start the game, and then that, I don't know if that rattled him or he, but it's the first time I've ever see. In addition to the great stuff, he's got phenomenal command. It's the only time I've watched him couldn't find the plate. Was high. He's never been like that. And again, a bad outing for him is he allowed 3 runs.
I think he's thinking about that ERA, man.
Might be.
We talked about it off the air yesterday. It's very cool to finish the season with an under 2 ERA, and it's very rare.
Yeah, in this day and age, it's really rare.
Yeah.
So, but it's the first time I've ever watched him when his command was all over the place. He's never like that. It was very interesting to see.
Let's get into pop culture. Happy birthday wishes to Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
It's Elvira's birthday?
74 today. How about that? The lovely Cassandra Peterson.
You're telling me today's Elvira's birthday?
Elvira is 74 today. How about that?
I knew
sweetheart. America's sweetheart.
It felt like a special day.
Yeah.
I just didn't know why.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Love Elvira.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, absolutely. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. On this date, back in 1991, Guns N' Roses releases double album, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. You could buy the album at midnight. So me and my friends went to Turtle Records on Bay Meadows Road to buy it. I was 15. That was 34 years ago today.
Who drove?
I don't even remember. It wasn't me. The album sold over 500,000 copies in the first 2 hours alone. Both are certified 7 times platinum. This is Don't Cry, the original version, one of 30 songs on the double album.
GNR was magnificent, certainly in that era. No question about it. Well done as always. We'll take a break. I want to get back to the DJ Lagway topic after this.
Something is changing inside you, and don't you know?
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. New name, new location, same great deals. And we're ready for you. We're going all out with end of summer savings, like new Kia starting at $20K. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. Or you can even hit the road with financing rates as low as 0. It's not too late. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Prize, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Gator fans, Dylan Denmark here. Join me Saturday night at 7:30 for the Gators Hurricanes game at Port Tap Room downtown. You can win a pair of tickets to the Florida-Texas game Saturday night at Port Tap Room. Let's go, Gators!
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.group.com.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Brandon Roofing. The Jaguars front office has made some moves to the secondary as they announced yesterday that safety Darnell Savage was being released. Then earlier today, the team signed former Minnesota Viking safety Khalif Halassi, who recently had 2 interceptions in a preseason game, to add some secondary depth. It's 86 degrees at 5 o'clock time in temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. 1010
Take.
The 1010 Take is sponsored by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. DuckDuckRooter.com. Saturday night is the referendum game for DJ Lagway. It came way faster than anybody might have thought, but DJ was the victim of unrealistic expectations. The reality is people thought, fair or foul, that he was a right-handed Tim Tebow. People thought there was going to be a statue. People thought he was going to win a Heisman. People thought he would take Florida back to greatness. The reality is the Gators are 1-2, and they're largely 1-2 because of him. The truth of the matter is those 5 interceptions, all, as Hayes pointed out the other day, were all his fault. If he plays even a little bit better, first of all, if he doesn't throw a pick 6, it's 13-10. If he plays a little bit better and scores one more touchdown, they win that game. And that was his fault. And obviously he missed open guys left and right in the USF game, and they lost that game by 2 points. If he plays average, moderately well, they're 3-0 right now and ranked 11th. He's not. He didn't, and they didn't. And now I think Tramel Jones is waiting in the wings. The only thing keeping Tramel from playing right now is the head coach is very stubborn and refuses to back off even when things aren't working. We've seen that for 4 years. That's a different conversation. But as it regards Lagway, he now has his referendum game. If he's lousy again, I don't see, and there's an off week coming up, I don't see how you can keep running him out there. This is a gigantic game for DJ Lagway, and that's the 10-10 take.
I would agree. I think it's got to be a short leash Saturday night if you're Billy Napier, or you're going to lose the locker room. I mean, you just can't keep putting a quarterback out there that is handing games to the opponent. And South Florida, I thought it was a little bit of everything. I thought Lagway was certainly responsible for a part of it. I didn't feel like he was solely responsible against USF, but he didn't play well. And the LSU game, it was all on DJ Lagway. I mean, the running game was there. The defense showed up. The special teams were fine. You just can't throw 5 interceptions all into heavy traffic, all terrible decisions. Terrible decisions in terms of where you are in the game, throws one right before halftime. I mean, just abysmal stuff. And you can't tolerate it. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what he's making in NIL. Like, your defense, your offense, they don't care about that. They want to win. And so, yeah, I think it all comes down to Saturday night for DJ Lagway. If plays well, he'll keep the job. But if it's 5 minutes left in the first half and Florida's sitting on 6 points or less and he's had a turnover or 2 and they've gone 3 and out a couple of times, you got to go to the next guy. I mean, at some point. And, I think at this point, if you're DJ Lagway, you've used up your mulligans, and certainly Billy Napier has. I mean, he's probably even beyond mulligans at this point. But yeah, if you want to keep the team together, whatever shred of hope there is there, then you've got to be quick to move off of DJ Lagway. if he doesn't play well. And I'd be shocked if he plays well.
Certainly shocked if he plays very well. The question is, what if he's not great but not as bad? What if the defense keeps you in the game? Because the defense, we have all agreed now, the defense isn't bad. I don't know if they're great or not, but it's certainly not a terrible defense. So if the defense keeps you in the game against Miami and you're down 17-6 early third quarter and DJ hasn't been terrible but hasn't been great, you need a shot in the arm. Does Billy Napier go get him? I don't think so. Now, if you're down 31-6 to start the third quarter, why not? But I don't think I think 17-6, I think 21-10. I think that's the best case scenario for Florida, by the way, is their defense keeps them within a touchdown or two. I don't think he goes and gets him. So it will, if this ends this way for DJ Lagway, and by the way, I don't blame him. He's doing the best he can. I really believe that. He's a great kid, according to everybody that knows him. But would this be the greatest fall or one of the greatest falls of expectations meeting going kerplunk? Now, there's a lot of hyped 5 stars that never pan out, but it doesn't happen this fast.
I can't remember somebody that looked so good immediately and then ended up being a bust. I mean, no one to this level that I can think of really in the history of college football is, in terms of my time as a fan of it. I certainly can't remember anything specific to Florida that would equate to this, because he had looked like he had the potential of a superstar last year as a true freshman, and now he's the worst quarterback in the SEC.
Let me tell you what's odd about this. Felipe Franks wasn't very good. He got moved, and he wound up being a tight end, okay? Kyle Trask, once he started, Felipe had to transfer out of there. But he looked the part. His throwing motion, the way he stood in the pocket, the way he let go of the ball, Felipe looked the part. Doug Johnson wasn't a very good quarterback. Of course, he played in the NFL, but he looked the part. John Brantley looked the part. He doesn't look the part. This guy looks clunky, and his footwork's weird, and he holds the ball funny, and it doesn't spiral very often. Some guys look really pretty. The ball, Anthony Richardson looks the part. The ball comes out of there really pretty. Looks good when he sets up. He looks good when he takes off and runs. He's fast. He's fast, athletic, big arm. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. I think the Colts found that out. The Gators found it out before that. But DJ doesn't even look the part right now. He just looks goofy it's a goofy playing, at least to me. He doesn't look like quarterbacks look. Well, now, that doesn't matter if you play. Tim Tebow didn't either, and he played great, though.
Lagway, to me, it's, again, we've talked about missing all the practice reps and how that's disrupted his development and his timing. I also don't think he's conditioned himself.
It looks that way, yeah.
I mean, he looks like somebody. I think we don't often talk about the condition of a quarterback, but it is a big key to their game. And you've got to pour a lot of time into that. You don't have time to get tired. You have too much mentally going on, going from one play to the next and directing 10 other guys, that you can't be sucking wind while you're doing that. And we've seen very few instances of that. Really, the only one that I can think of was the Super Bowl here, where Donovan McNabb clearly was out of gas in a 2-minute drill for Philly. But you almost never see it because quarterbacks, we don't talk about it a lot, but they've got to be in excellent physical shape.
Right.
DJ Lagway strikes me as somebody, because of the injuries, that, I'm not sure he can run 2 miles around a track right now. He just doesn't look like he's got his conditioning to where it should be. And, again, how much of that is on the coaching staff, how much of that is on Lagway for not pushing through a little bit more for whatever reason. But it's not just the timing and the rhythm. He just athletically looks like he is not very well conditioned right now.
The State Farm College Football Report is next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie talking turf. I tuned into topdressing.com ads on 1010XL. I've heard the buzz and decided to meet their team. Well, they're spot on and they're top dressing my yard soon. And I can't wait. Make your St. Augustine grass rival fairways, even, healthy, resilient. And as a golfer, I get it. Improves aeration, adds nutrients, white glove service, thorough. Personalized plans. Like I said, I'm in. I'm doing it and you can too. Join in. Dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
It's the one they put in high gear. Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going. It's the Randy Marriott Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marriott Cadillac of Jacksonville on 1010XL.
Frangie here. When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. They're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations and full air conditioning service, they do it all. And with Duck, it's done right. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter. If the Jags trust Duck Rooter, so can you.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frangie here. Experience professional grade at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. So shop 24/7 online at NimnikBuickGMC.com or at the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Garrett Scantling here, and once again, thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. My torn hip labrum issue is resolved thanks to Dr. Doward, and Dr. Acevedo keeps my feet healthy too. Training and competing, that's what it's all about for me. And Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has me in top condition.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
When the lights are on, you can expect Travis Etienne to always perform. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find the teal and black running back for an 11-yard touchdown, giving Jacksonville a 24-17 lead with 4:08 left in the frame. The Etienne score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Frangie here, telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. She's lost 60 pounds. Can you believe that? And she just took a road trip. The reason is it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the State Farm College Football Report with Shane Matthews on the Gators, Tom Block on the Noles, and Joe Zagacki on the Canes. Presented by your local State Farm agent.
All right, let's start with some Gator talk. State Farm agents Mike Nickus, Ron McCann, Mike Tozel, Kathy Scott, and Jason Judy sponsor it. Shane Matthews has it for us. He's the color commentator on the Gator Radio Network. Oh boy, Shane, that one was a hard one to call the other day, particularly the struggles of DJ Lagway. What do you make of those? Is he just not ready? Is he not fundamentally sound? Have people figured him out? Why was DJ so bad the other night?
I think it's a combination of everything you just mentioned, Frank. Fundamentals are not very good. Falling backwards, not stepping into your throws. You just can't get away with that in the SEC. I'm not sure you can improve on that during the season. But, look, all quarterbacks have bad days. I think DJ will bounce back. But you just got to learn from these mistakes, realizing you can't be just floating balls, in the SEC.
Shane, how good do you think the defense is?
We'll know this week. I thought that was the worst LSU offense I've seen in 15 years. They can't do anything offensively. I was shocked. I think Miami might be the best team we face all year now that I've seen them play a couple of times. But it's going to be tough. Carson Beck's a veteran guy. They got that air version of the air raid under Shannon Dawson. So we'll see how good we are this year. So far, we haven't been able to pressure the quarterback, really, but we better get to Beck this week.
Let me ask you this. I get the impression that Billy isn't going to pull the plug. The best thing about your coach, Steve Spurrier, is he wasn't afraid. If one guy wasn't getting it done, he went and got the other guy. Now, you didn't experience that because it never happened with you, but it happened with just about everybody else that ever played there. Is Billy gun-shy to pull him? Will he be gun-shy to pull him if he struggles again, in your opinion?
I think somebody asked him the other day, Frank, about, you're going to pull him and let Trammell have a couple of series. He said, no, DJ's our quarterback. Now, I think Trammell should have played against South Florida. I think Trammell obviously should have played against LSU because you're putting your team in a bind, right? We changed our right tackle when we went to LSU. We benched Bryce Lovett, so why can't we bench our quarterback? I guess because of the guy that I played for, what he did to Heisman Trophy winners and other national players of the year like Rex and Danny and Jesse and all these guys got benched. So we'll see. I'm just hoping DJ plays a little bit better this week.
Final thing. You're around the team. You're on the plane. You're in the locker room. Has its will been broken yet? I mean, can they still salvage that? You've been around enough teams to know that. Where are they emotionally?
Well, time will tell. I didn't think we could salvage last year, and you saw what they did at the end of the season. But I don't think we want to continue repeating this year in, year out, right? Let's go play as a team and try to win a football game in a hostile environment this week against a team that nobody likes. So it's going to be tough, but we got to find a way to win this game or it could get ugly.
Shane Matthews from the Gator Radio Network. Thank you, Shane.
Take care, guys.
Let's head to Tallahassee. Say hello to Tom Block. He's from the Seminole Radio Network. His report is brought to you by Craig Dewhurst, Ramey Ellaboo, Margie Williams, Scott Hobson, Brandon Thomas, and Randy Taylor, all State Farm agents. Tom, has been quiet, it seems like. No game last week. Obviously, a Kent game this week that they should win easily. What's the mindset over there? I guess you got to guard a bit against feeling too good about yourselves. What's the mindset in Tallahassee these days?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, personally, I think that's kind of how I feel, although, as we talked about last time, they certainly dispelled any idea that they weren't going to be ready to play in their last game. So I would expect they'll come out pretty focused again. This team, I mean, so far the sample size, while small, we don't have a reason to doubt that they're going to come ready to play. So I would expect that this week. And, and then the conference play will begin the next week. But I think they'll be pretty focused, and I expect a big performance. It's a lesser opponent, but it's family weekend in Tallahassee, so the game is a sellout. There'll be another good crowd and a good atmosphere.
Were they disappointed that they had to have a bye week before Kent State?
This is one of those years, as you know, where they get 2 bye weeks, or everybody gets 2 bye weeks based on the number of Saturdays between first weekend in December. As I understand it, the way the ACC does it, they give every school basically one sort of what's the top thing you want or don't want on your schedule related. And I don't 100% know, but I'm pretty confident that what FSU requested is to get a bye week after the cross-country trek to Stanford in October. And they do have that. They play October 18th at Stanford, and then they're off the next week for the final month of the season. So I think they got their A-wish. Mike Norvell said yesterday it's a good time for a bye week, but have you ever heard a coach say it's a bad time for a bye week? So I think to answer your question, if they could have had a choice, too, with the ACC, they probably would have said, yeah, how about maybe before we play Miami would be another good time.
Tommy Castellanos looks like he's not only been a really good player, but a good leader for this team. Is that a good read? It seems like they follow him. I know he kind of broke the rock at the end of camp. Tell me more about him. Because he looks perfect for what they needed.
Yeah, well, I think he's perfect for the Malzahn offense, and that was certainly I'd have to look back at the timing, but I feel like Castellanos wasn't necessarily on the radar or top of the radar of the list for Florida State, and then the Malzahn news went official. And right away, it was like they were after Castellanos, who had played for Malzahn at UCF. I don't know him a lot personally. I haven't interacted with him that much, but they definitely view him as a leader. He's brought confidence to him, which was sorely needed after last year. And the other thing I'll say, he's a Georgia kid who grew up a Florida State fan. So this is not somebody who just landed at FSU because there was an opportunity. This is somebody who is truly living his dream to play quarterback at FSU. He took a circuitous route to get here, but I think he's appreciating and cherishing that opportunity too. And he's enjoying the fact, and he caught some flack for saying this, but, basically pointed out that there's not as many playmakers or enough playmakers around him at BC. And now he can't say that. This isn't the top skilled offense in the country, but there's some good playmakers there, and he's taking advantage of it.
Tom Block checking in from the Seminole Radio Network. Thank you, Tom.
You bet.
Let's head down to Coral Gables. Joe Zagacki is a terrific play-by-play voice of the Canes. His report is brought to you by State Farm agents Carissa McCullough and Gene Coleman. Boy, Joe, the Canes look good. They look like they've got it rolling. They had no trouble with the South Florida team to beat Florida, even after that delay. I got to believe right now in Coral Gables, they feel pretty good about the football team they got.
Yeah, I think they do, Frank. They've got guys in this team that want to be Miami Hurricanes. I think in the past, when you go into that portal, sometimes you don't know exactly what you're getting. I think Miami found a few players in the past where it felt like they were doing Miami a favor to play here. Now they've got guys that are really committed to playing, and they're making big plays, and they're showing their size, their physicality, their speed, their execution. So it's been a great start.
Joe, is that where you think this game is won Saturday night, in the trenches with the dominance that Miami has on the offensive and on defensive line as well?
No question. I think if you're Florida, you got to say, listen, we got to get some kind of run game going. We can't put this game on the shoulders of Lagway after what happened last week. They want to stay out of those third down situations where he's got to force it or throw it down the field. 4 of his 5 interceptions were on third down. Miami's built a fortress so far around Carson Beck, giving him plenty of time to scan the field and make big throws. Defensively, I think a lot of people looked and said, well, Miami's got to get better in the secondary. I'll tell you where they've gotten better is at defensive end. That's because Bain and Mesidor have raised their game. Sometimes you get better from within, and Bain, so far, he might be the best player in college football right now. He's been unstoppable at defensive end.
Joe, how big a deal is Florida-Miami to Miami? I mean, obviously, they don't play every year. Miami's big rivals FSU. Miami plays Notre Dame. Miami plays in the ACC. How big a deal is this to Miami to beat the Gators?
I think it's gigantic, Frank. They're still fighting for the same players, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 schools, 1 state fighting for all these players, fighting with the players. I think for Miami, they've always tried to fight for respect against the University of Florida in every sport. So it's a very meaningful game with lots of with magnitude for the University of Miami. And then the sidebar to that is every time Miami and Florida plays, and I look out at the crowd and I see the orange and green and the blue and orange, and I see it mixed together and families together or families divided, whatever it is, and the players playing with passion, I say, why the hell aren't they playing this game all the time?
Yep.
It should be played all the time.
What do you think is the most concerning thing that Florida presents for Miami?
Well, they've got talent. I mean, they're loaded with talent. Their problem has been shooting themselves in the foot. So the thing that I think Miami would be worried about is, one, does Billy Napier galvanize this team where they give them another great effort and they clean up their mistakes and they make big plays? And then, defensively, they've been good. They've given up a couple of touchdowns, 3 touchdowns and 7 touchdowns in 7 games going back to last year. So defensively, they've been good. They've been stubborn against the run. And I think the concern would be last year they intercepted Beck 3 times. Now, he's throwing for 300 yards in both games against them. So can they turn Miami over? The Canes have done a good job in that department. Florida last year thrived on taking the ball away. So can Florida bring it all together in one night, or will they continue to beat themselves?
Big day for the Canes, I'll tell you that. Game day will be there in the morning. Fowler and Herbstreit on the call at night, which means it's the prime game. things are going very well for the Miami Hurricanes. Joe Zagacki, the terrific play-by-play voice of the Canes. Thank you, Joe.
All right, fellas, thank you.
All right, that is the State Farm College Football Report. Shane Matthews talking Gators, Tom Block on the Knowles, Joe Zagacki talking Miami football. When we come back, Kevin Kaplan joined us. Our medical report is next, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This year's playoff road rides through the 904. Last season's AFC South champs take their first shot at Trevor and the playoff-hungry team in teal. It's back at the bank for a big one against a division rival. Jaguars, Texans, Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010 XL.
Cowboy. This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise, free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot, shopping their indoor, climate-controlled showroom. It's cool, comfortable, and hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast for over 75 years. And this month only, Bono's has loaded barbecue tater tots. That smoked pulled pork on top of tater tots with melted cheddar cheese sauce. You won't find this anywhere else. And with 18 Bonos around town, there's always one nearby. You can see all the locations at bonosbarbecue.com. Remember, the loaded barbecue tater tots are served for a limited time only, so don't miss out. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. But only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS right here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
We appreciate our buddy Kevin Kaplan stopping by, and of course, Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. That is his new endeavor, and they're doing a great job. You have orthopedic care you need. They're the folks to call. You were not able to deliver a win on the road, though.
I apologize.
It's
my fault.
You failed on that. I needed someone to blame, so thank you for walking in here, David.
You're welcome.
Boy, that one hurt. Hey, let me start with the Joe Burrow injury. Gone for maybe the year, certainly much of the year, with a turf toe injury. Explain that.
Yes, there are different levels of turf toe injuries. Certainly, you can have, just like Brock Purdy, a turf toe injury, but not one that requires surgery. So if the plate on the bottom of your foot is a complex of a couple little bones, ligaments, and a tendon, if that ruptures and those little bones retract towards your heel, so to speak, in that direction, it makes it very difficult, and you really can't toe off. You can't push off on your toe. So you have no stable base to run, plant, pivot, cut. So you saw him get up on the field and try to take a couple steps. He couldn't do it.
Couldn't walk. Because
he had no base to step off on his toe. So when it's that significant, you have to fix them surgically and trying to get that to heal. I mean, that's why they said at least 3 months, because it really takes that amount of time to heal. Now, it's not his push-off foot, right? So it's not his right foot that he's going to push off on, but you still, for deceleration, running, cutting, you still need that plantar plate.
So what is the surgery? What do they do?
So they basically reattach that complex to the base of the toe.
Is the plate on
the bottom of the toe?
It's on the bottom of the toe.
That's right.
Okay.
So in a sense, if you took his toe and pushed it up towards his head forward, it wouldn't stop. It would just keep going because there's no restraint on the bottom of the foot.
Oh, I see.
And so you need that restraint to kind of stop it. And if you think about going up on your toes, you really need a stable base to go up on your toes. Without that, it's just loose and it would just flop. It would just go, towards his head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it a rare injury? And how, from the tackle, how do you think his foot ended up getting so injured?
Yeah, it's funny they call it turf toe, right? We were playing on turf, and there's a theory that, if your foot gets stuck in that turf and then you get driven into that turf, there's not as much give as dirt or the grass. And so if you get driven into the ground, the toe only can go so much before something has to go. Either you're going to break your foot or you're going to rupture that plantar plate. So do we see a lot of them? I mean, we see a lot of turf toe injuries, not a lot that need surgery. But when they do, we all know it, and you can see it on an x-ray even before you get an MRI. Cincinnati is the only stadium in the country, NFL stadium, that has an MRI. The only reason I know that is because I remember when we left for London the second year.
Yeah.
I needed to get an MRI because we left right from Cincinnati.
2014.
And so I ended up getting an MRI there. But that's the only stadium that has it. And so I know they probably got their MRIs and knew exactly what was happening during the game. And by halftime, they probably knew.
When you're on the sideline,
correct,
with the Jags, so you were on the opposing sideline. Did you have any idea when you saw it? I mean, I don't know if you're watching every play. You may be dealing with the player, but I mean...
Yeah, I tend to watch, and I tend to look and see if I can figure out what's going on. Obviously, he was grabbing down by his foot and ankle, but that could be a lot, right?
Yeah,
it could be Achilles, could be a high ankle, could be a Liz Frank, but you don't know until you get that shoe off and get a feel. And obviously, he's talking to his team physicians on the field and on the sideline.
I know you talked to the team physicians before the game. Have you talked to those guys since then?
We always meet on the field after the game and talk.
You do?
And,
okay.
It's brief. We don't really sit there and talk too long. It's kind of, obviously, we had a terrible taste in my mouth.
Right.
We
all did.
Cilantro.
We all did.
It's terrible.
We all did. But what did they tell you?
They told me that, I said, congratulations, great win. I said, is it bad? And he said, yeah, it's not great. Not a good one. It was actually their assistant team physician who I'm friends with.
Okay.
And their head team physician wasn't there because he was in the back already talking to Joe, and I'm sure their foot and ankle guy. So that kind of gave me a clue. And obviously it was a very quick interaction.
And obviously there are differences in terms of, I don't know if they use grades on that or not, but severity, because we're seeing Brock Purdy looks like he missed last week with a turf toe, but now Shanahan's sort of leaving it open that he might be able to play this week. So obviously he had something, but not to the level of Burrow.
Right. You can injure that area without rupturing it. And you can get just an injury to the ligament between those bones. You can get a sprain, just like you can sprain any other, like an MCL, right? I mean, you can sprain the MCL, you can tear the MCL completely, and there are grades of injury and if it needs surgery or not. And largely, if it's not surgical, then it is a matter of weeks. And they gave him a long horizon, 2 to 5 weeks. That's kind of a broad range. But, that means that it wasn't surgical, and it's just, and I don't know which foot it is on Purdy's. I don't know if it's his plant leg or
I'm
his
not
push
sure.
off. Yeah, I'm not either. That would make a difference to me as a team physician if we were seeing, God forbid, one of our players, and how does he use that foot? Is his push off foot? Is his plant foot? And that would make a difference in terms of time as well.
It's interesting. Kevin, Joe Burrow's been hurt a lot. Are some players anatomically or physically more prone to injuries than others? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I think, you get a guy that's had a tough time with an offensive line that allows him to get hit more. I think it's more about the amount of times he's getting contacted and the amount of times he's getting tackled. I mean, those guys are just large human beings that are tackling him and putting him in the ground. And if there are two guys on him and one guy twists his foot and one guy goes this way and that way. And, and then ACLs, he had an ACL injury. We see those so often. I mean, I do hundreds of ACLs a year just because of the number of athletes that are playing throughout the year.
So a quarterback, his body might not be more susceptible to injury, but if he's a guy that holds the ball longer,
that's right,
and gets hit more,
that's right.
Interesting.
Is the foot tough healing wise because of blood flow, or is that an area where what are the areas of the body where the blood flow isn't ideal for healing, if anywhere?
Yeah, certain bones, like the scaphoid bone in your wrist, which is the wrist at the base of your thumb, that's a bad healing bone because the blood supply kind of comes in reverse. The fifth metatarsal, we hear about fifth metatarsal injuries. That's a bone that doesn't have a great blood supply. And so typically, if those are broken, we put a screw in there to try to get it to heal quicker. Most of the other things, most bones can heal and they have a rich vascular supply and things like ligaments. Unfortunately, the ACL, once it's torn, it doesn't heal. The MCL can heal. So it depends on the ligament we're talking about and the body and the part of the body that we're discussing as well.
Austin Eckler did a Achilles. Does it seem like we're having a lot of Achilles these days, or is that recency bias of mine?
I think you're right. I think they're increasing. And these guys, if you look at their legs, they're extremely powerful. And their calves are bigger, their quads are bigger. We're also seeing a lot of quad and patellar tendon injuries. And all of those injuries occur because the tendon is lengthening at the same time that the muscle is contracting.
I see.
So, theoretically, you get these guys with huge calves and huge quads, and they're planting and pushing off. And when they're planting, if their foot is also, if the tendon's lengthening and that muscle is pulling really hard, something's going to give.
So the more muscular you are, the faster you go, and the more explosive you are, the more likely you are to have it.
It puts you at risk. And we do see those more often in the guys that have been in the league for quite some time. And that's why we see most of the time in the weekend warriors, guys in our age range, right, 40s, 50s, 60s, that are still out there hooping it up and trying to do things, running with their kids, and you see those types of injuries, Achilles, patellar tendons, quad injuries. I just finished doing a bicep tendon repair on a gentleman who's in his 50s, that reached out and tried to catch something, and his arm lengthened.
That sounds like it hurts.
Yeah,
that hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah, I had one guy that tore both at the same time. He was doing a curl, a preacher curl.
Yeah,
and went and popped one, and the bar said to go down, so he instinctively pulled with his other arm and popped them both. And,
Hayes, I got to stop doing curls with those 100-pound dumbbells.
I noticed your guns were bigger too.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I haven't been injured yet.
Absolutely. We saw J.J. McCarthy, high ankle sprain in Minnesota, the Vikings quarterback. I know those are tough in terms of figuring out a return to play, but what will Minnesota be dealing with, and what will McCarthy be dealing with that?
So inevitably they had an MRI, and the MRI will show us how much the ligaments are torn between the tibia bone, which is your shin bone, and the fibula bone, which is the smaller outside bone in your ankle. And the higher up those ligaments are torn, or sprained, I should say, then the longer it is for a recovery or return to play. So, and the importance of those ligaments is it prevents those two bones from separating. So when a guy, low basketball, we talk about those low basketball ankle sprains, those are relatively straightforward in terms of how quick you can get back, a week or two. But when you have a high ankle sprain, those two bones, the tibia and the fibula, can separate, and it makes it very hard to plant and push off. So what they're going to be looking for is, when can J.J. McCarthy do a single leg heel rise, and when can he hop on that foot single leg 10 times? Once he does that and demonstrates that those bones are stable, then he'll get him back on a running protocol and a progression and cutting and planting and throwing. So that's a matter of weeks, 2 to 4 to 6 weeks, as opposed to low ankle sprain where you can kind of tolerate the pain and kind of start going through it.
All right, final thing. Caleb Banks, the really good Florida defensive tackle, All-American, probably first-round draft pick, missed 2 games with the foot injury. I don't know if you saw this or not. Missed 2 games with the foot injury. Came back and played how many plays would you figure?
10.
10 plays. Hurt it again. Gone for the year. And he went to Birmingham to have James Andrews do the surgery. Now, I don't know what it was. And if you haven't seen it, you may not either. But
the Institute.
Right.
Yeah. Why would you go? Just a better doctor? I mean, your agent would want that?
It probably was agent driven. I mean, I know their foot and ankle guy down there is fantastic. He's actually a guy that trained in New York where I trained, and he does a great job. And, sometimes that is agent driven, and I can tell you just from having been in the league for a while, I mean, I get a lot of players that come now to Jacksonville to have surgeries and agents, they want the best for their players, and sometimes, obviously all the teams have great physicians that can take care of the players, but sometimes it is an agent saying, hey, I want you to go here for a second opinion, or I want you to go here for surgery, or let's send the films out. I trained out with Curl and Job and Dr. Elatrosh, who was kind of the doctor to the stars, knows everybody. And I may send a film out there and he'll tell the agent, no, hey, look, I agree with Kevin, let Kevin fix it. And so it's an interesting political part of the business. And that's, we see that a lot more in college now too.
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, Kevin Kaplan, team doctor, tell us about orthopedic specialists at Jacksonville. How's it going?
It's going great. Every week we seem to be getting busier and busier. When I thought we couldn't get busier, we're going to obviously be expanding and hiring young people. And, it's all about spreading ourselves over the city and being able to give the orthopedic care that patients deserve.
All right, fair enough. And don't cost us another loss this week.
Yes, sir. You got it. I'm on it.
I'm putting it on your hands. Kevin Kaplan, the team doctor for the Jags, and a great part of the show. Kevin, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thursday night football in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, 12.5-point favorites over the Miami Dolphins, 49.5 the total. Josh Allen will wear a visor after suffering a bloody nose, and he took a whack to the face in the victory over the Jets, 30-10 on Sunday. VSiN Prop Points host John Hansen likes Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins, to go over 23.5 receiving yards in that Thursday night matchup. Best bets available, VSIN.com/picks. Lucas Giolito on the mound today for the Boston Red Sox, $1.79 favorite against the A's at Fenway Park. Jacob deGrom on the hill for the Rangers, -126 against Christian Javier of the Astros, +104, 7.5 over the total. Cash back for every bet with a G-Bank signature Visa card. VSiN.com/GBank. Mike Sennett, 1010XL.
Jacksonville, it's football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar-wrapped plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Wick, a candle bar, is celebrating 6 years this Friday through Sunday. Enjoy 15% off your total purchase at both San Marco and Jax Beach. Come celebrate 6 years at Wick, a candle bar.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where have we been in the program today? We talked some Jags and Texans. We talked all about the significance of the game for Jacksonville, and it is totally significant. I think they're going to win. I hope they do. I certainly feel good about that. You heard from Bayshaw Tootin, the terrific rookie running back. Hayes caught up with him in the locker room. That's always kind of fun stuff. We talked a little bit about the importance of the game. We talked about, is it a referendum game for DJ Lagway when he plays against Miami? And, of course, we had the State Farm College Football Report. Shane Matthews, Tom Block, and Joe Zagacki talking Gators, Knowles, and Canes. So there you go. By the way, we haven't gotten to this in specifically yet. Boy, Trayvon Walker had a good game last week, didn't he?
Absolutely.
And we haven't. I mean, I saw somebody had some cut-ups on him on Twitter. And
yeah, Baldinger.
Yeah, it was Baldy. Boy, oh boy. You could usually Baldy does stuff, and you can see it because he pulls it out, but it doesn't always scream off the tape. You know, it's his eye. This one did. The way he threw guys out of the way, and I mean, what a game Trayvon had.
Without a doubt, and that's going to be it's an issue for both clubs in this game. Each team has 2 exceptional edge guys, and again, with the crowd noise aiding Hines Allen and Walker, and with the porous Houston front, you'd like to think that it could be a record day for Josh Hines Allen. He's 2.5 away from the career sack record, a franchise record. But yeah, Trayvon Walker heating up as well. So it'd be really interesting to see how Houston goes about what they do in terms of giving help on each side to block those exceptional players.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun game. The psychology will be in play. I don't sense, let me ask you, do you sense that the brutal hit on Trevor rears its head?
I think it has to a bit.
Even if not
they
publicly.
Will publicly downplay it, and certainly started that process today. But I don't know how it can't be.
Yeah,
if you're a player that was on last year's team.
Very good
now,
point.
if you're somebody who just arrived, you weren't here for it, then you're having to sort of go with the flow of the returning veterans. But yeah, I would think for the returning veterans, if that doesn't mean something to you, there's no excuse for the Jaguars to be flat in this game. You gave away the Cincinnati game, so that should make you livid. It's a divisional game. You have a chance to send the biggest threat in your division to an 0-3 start, and you've got the cheap shot factor from last year that put Trevor Lawrence on the shelf for several games. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for more motivational material if you're Liam Cohen.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a group that's going to be flat very often anyway. But nonetheless, if they were going to be, they certainly weren't. But it's going to be an awful lot of. It'll be a fun day. Glad to have them back home. Glad to have the home crowd there with them for the first regular season, a home game. That's going to be exciting as well. So looking forward to that coming up in just a bit. Tomorrow, by the way, same bat time, same bat channel. No, that's correction. 2 to 4. Our same bat time, same bat channel for our Thursday crowd. So we look forward to that. Rick Ballou has set up shop at Twin Peaks, I'm told. Let's say hello to Rick.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick, tell us about your venue tonight. Out on the road, are you?
No place I'd rather be. And I learned a long time ago that no matter where you're at, have yourself a good time. That's going to be the case here at Twin Peaks over the next 2 hours. They got 22-ounce, $3.99 drafts.
How about that?
Let me repeat that, okay? 22 ounces, ice cold. I mean, I'm looking at some glasses right now. They're frigid. They're straight out of the freezer. It's like the old school Schaefer commercial back in the 1970s for some of you out there a little bit longer in the tooth. And, 22 ounces, only $3.99. Let's see here. They got $6 Jaeger bombs and indoor-outdoor dining. It's on Atlantic, basically Atlantic and Kernan. And we're going to be here once a month, Frank, and we're going to kick things off here in about 8 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Tell you what, cold beer is good. Frigid beer is really good. Really good. All right.
Yes.
What else coming up on the program tonight?
John Osher's going to join us. The Philly Godfather is going to join us. Danny Van Sickle is going to join us. The very latest from the Jaguars practice today, and we'll push forward towards some of these big college football games, including the Gators at the Hurricanes. All of that coming up over the next 2 hours.
All right, Rick Beluga's into the night with frigid beers. So go have a good time out at Twin Peaks. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Rick Beluga's into the night right now. That'll do it for our program. Thanks for being part of it. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, we'll be in here. Lee Smith will be talking Ryder Cup. Greg McGarrity will be talking college football. Hayes and I've got a lot for you, too. I think we might even hear from Devin Lloyd tomorrow. All that coming up on tomorrow's program. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.